Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Connor and Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about Now You See Me, Now You Don't. For all of our video listeners, our video watchers, just pulled a nice little prank on you. Just like the Four Horsemen pulled a lot of magic tricks this weekend at the box office. After, 8 years, the Horsemen are back. Obviously, they're up to no good, or they're up to a lot of good, taking down some big old corporations. Miss Rosamund Pike in this third entry. Daniel Radcliffe is out, and Gone Girl is in. And we are here to talk about it, not with just me, great grammar there, not with just Connor, but no, we have our friend on, Adam, Sunset Loner Cinema. He is here to talk about it with us tonight on a Sunday night. Dan is out watching the Eagles. That's okay. He's good, go Birds for him. Those priorities were there before we had this podcast, so I respect it. Dan, I don't hope they win. I have a Lions hat on, but I guess my heart lies more with the podcast and less with sports. So anyways, Adam, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Yes. Dan just texted me. He did not, but he also appreciates you being here and wish he could be here with us as well.
All good. He is missed.
Very much so. Connor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Cold open here. Speaking of missing, you love this franchise. You told me, correct?
I love two of them.
You love two of them. Oh, interesting. Okay. I was going to ask you about things that haven't missed, and this franchise hasn't missed for you. But I guess, wow. It finally has. It has happened, but we will get into that momentarily. But why do you think that you love this franchise? I asked you what were your feelings about Magic. Also, Adam, I'll pitch it to you afterwards. But Connor, are you big into magicians? Have you learned magic? I said this on the podcast before. You look like a guy who would know magic, respectfully.
I don't know what age I was, but there was probably like a good year and a half, maybe. My mom got me the Chris Angel magic set, which first that guy is,
he's like a sexy magician, right? He's like how Jesse Eisenberg is in the first movie.
But it pretty much came out that he is a douchebag. And I'm like, there's literally a Supernatural episode titled Chris Angel is a douchebag. But I had his like magic kit for about a year and a half when I was younger. And I tried a few tricks, but I never dove into it too much. But one of the coolest venues for a movie theater around me is called Newport on the Levee, right on the edge of the Kentucky border, which is also where I got married. And outside the theater is like a big open venue. It's where the aquarium is. There's some bars, bookstores, and there's always like street performers out there. And every time there's a magician there, I always stand around and watch.
Sick. Adam, you ever get a magic? I'm trying to think. I have met Adam in person. Now, I'm just, Connor, you've not met Adam, so you might be only judging from, the chest up, but I've seen all of it.
I saw that Joker stairs dancing.
I was just about to say, I'm thinking about that.
My nice belly flash.
I'm not thinking of the belly flash. I'm thinking about the theatrics. And I don't know. That is kind of out there to jog up those steps. I don't think, I'm saying no. Adam, you never were in magic, were you?
I will say this much. As a kid, on a couple occasions, I got magic kits or like the finger cutter trick where like, you think you're going to get your finger cut, but it doesn't do that. Like I played around with those things a couple times as a kid. Went to a Vegas magic show when I was like 15. As a kid, I thought it was mesmerizing. As an adult, it's not really something I think about very much. It's not like if I were to go to Vegas tomorrow, a magic show wouldn't exactly be on my list of things to do. I'm more of a low stakes, bet $20, walk away if I get ahead kind of guy now.
Can you stop it at $20?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was in Vegas right around this time last year. I went to a film festival in Utah, and Vegas was the closest major city, so I had to fly in and out of there. And I decided after the festival, I'm just going to give myself a couple of nights in Vegas. Went down each night to the casino with $20. The second night, I'm down to my last $2. I'm like, all right, I'm out $20. Like, I'm not even going to go any further. There's this thing that's like a table and that's got these like toy horses that race and you bet your money. and I bet my last $2 on it. I ended up winning the race and getting 250, and I took it as a sign from the universe. Leave the casino, quit while you're ahead. Let's just say it paid for half of that. Half of it paid for the Caesar's Palace buffet that night.
All right. Here's a moral dilemma question for you guys that we were arguing about at work the other day. You're going to the casino. Stone lends you $200. You hit the jackpot of your lifetime. You walk out of there with $200 million. How much are you giving Stone?
I would say this. I would sit down with Stone and be like, look, man, I'm going to be real with you. I just won $200 million at the casino. You're a nice guy. I want to give you some of this. And I would ask Stone right now, how much of this, I trust Stone to be honest with me. How much of this would you need to just live a life where you can have that money, invest whatever you need into it, and just live comfortably? I would say, I don't need all 200 million. I don't. I would say I'd give Stone 5 million. I'd say 5 million, make him a millionaire. He's good. Then I'd call you, Connor, and be like, hey, Connor, 5 million for you.
What a guy.
And then
That's
I'd go
gonna
like
go
my
on podcast
friends,
that's going on.
5 million, 5 million, 5 million. I just give half of it to people I know in 5 million increments. Keep 100 million for myself, and 100 million keeps me set.
So did I give him? I gave him the 200 as a gift.
You loaned it to him. He was like, hey man, money's been tight. I want to go to the casino though. But not like a gambling addiction type thing. Like, let's say he's going for his friend's bachelor party and he doesn't want to, be left out.
I would just want to say, just give me the $200 back.
No, you get 5 million, dude. You get a return on investment.
Let's
5
flip
million.
around now.
I didn't invest anything though. You invested it.
Yeah, but you gave me the money. You gave me the 200 that led to that investment. So, I would totally give you 5 mil, dude.
No, let's flip it around now, Stone. Adam gave you the 200 million, right? Or 200 million. I gave you 200. You win 200 million. How much are you giving me back? Are you giving me my 200 back and telling me you shit the bed, or?
That's a little interesting. Dang, when you flip it, it's kind of like, I feel like an asshole just giving you $200. That's tough. Probably $300.
Hey, that's a good return on investment from my end. You know what I mean?
You guys made money, so there you go. Now, what will I do
You
with
just
the
know
other
who's the better person
199
between
million?
you and Adam.
No, you didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to, do something with Cincinnati and build it into an empire or something for you. Now, Adam, I don't know where you're from. You're from Texas, right?
I am. Yeah, I'm based in Dallas.
Yes, I'm such a good friend. Sorry.
Mm.
There's a couple big cities in Texas, so I'm glad that I just said Texas. But
You're good, man.
where am I from, Adam?
You live in Orlando, but you're originally from Michigan.
Dang, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was good. That was a good poll. Geez. Speaking of good polls, do you want to talk about Now You See Me 3? Or Now You See Me, Now You Don't?
Can we just
There's a
talk
lot
about
of-
how dumb it is they didn't name the second one that?
I was going to ask you, does that bother you?
Yes.
I thought about it. I was like, Now You See Me, Now You Don't would have been a great title for the second film. And then I was like, well, what would they call the third film? And I would think, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Abracadabra.
That's
The
the
third
whole
one
title would be
could
that, though? That'd be tough. Jeez.
No. Or how about just Now You See Me, Abracadabra? Or Now You See Me.
Abracadabra just by itself is kind of a sick title for a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or what if the third one was just like Now You Might?
Yeah, they could go typical generic blockbuster third installment title and just call it, Now You See Me, The Last Magic Trick, or The Last Trick, The Last Illusion.
But they were
They
hinting
were
at a
hoping-
fourth one already.
Yeah. I'm saying as long as the money's still flowing,
Exactly.
there's going to be a lot of tricks to be had. We'll just
Oh,
say.
absolutely.
But this one's interesting. So, Connor, before we get into this third one, why do you like the other two? So that's one of your favorite, your guilty pleasure franchises.
Yeah, 100%. I really like Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson on screen together. So like the Zombieland movies. I think they work really well together. I've always liked Dave Franco in everything I've ever seen him in. Even if I don't like the movie, I like Dave Franco's performance. Like the one you and Dan really like, Love Lies Bleeding.
He was good in that.
I liked him in that. I didn't like the movie, but Isla Fisher, I also really like everything she's in. So I think like the cast itself helps. What's funny is I'm not a Mark Ruffalo fan, like at all. There's not one Mark Ruffalo movie that I've seen up until Poor Things where I was like, I really enjoyed his performance. I actually don't think he's been that great of an actor up until Poor Things.
In, Spotlight. He's incredible in Spotlight.
Yeah. So I like the cast a lot. I like the mystery behind it. And I think this isn't too much of spoilers for the new one, but there is some new magicians introduced in the third one, as you both know. And I think what the first two did really well versus this one is they like spent some time building up each one of these magicians before they teamed up. And I really liked all that and seeing how all their unique, abilities came together when they first met at the apartment. They're all standing outside confused, and then Dave Franco shows up. He's like, no lock's ever, truly locked. And then just seeing them all figure out that maze in the middle. I think the twist in that one works far better than the other two.
I think it's because it's also the first one too. At the very end of all these movies is going to be a big twist. So I think it is maybe the most effective the very first time that you see it. You're like, oh, this is what these movies are going to do. So when it doesn't at the end of every single one, I guess you can be like, oh, which twist is the best twist and executed the best? But I'm just like, it's coming kind of a thing. So it's interesting.
But also going into a movie about magic, I expect a twist already. Like before I know anything about it, like The Prestige, the first time I watched that, which I think is Nolan's best movie, I expected a twist at some point in there. And there's like 4 in the last 20 minutes in that movie.
So with me, I had never seen any of these movies until a week ago. When they came out, I still have vivid memories of going to the movies in 2013 and seeing the trailer for the first one. And I have that image burned in my head of Isla Fisher going, we know a lot of you have been affected by the economy and we want to give you money back. And there's the shot of the money, or them like cheering because they've gotten the money and all that. And this was around the time that MoviePass first came around. And I remember getting MoviePass early in its existence, being like, oh man, I just got to pay $20 a month and I can go see a movie a day. Sign me up. And like, I remember telling myself that summer I was going to see anything and everything that came out. I didn't care what it was because I just wanted to make use of my investment. But I just never went around to seeing it. And it just never interested me. I don't know. I think also like this was a time where I was really starting to get into, I was blogging at the time. I really started getting into like actually applying film criticism as something to do with my spare time. And I just never got around to seeing it because I think it was just so low on my interest radar. All these years passed, the second one came out. I was like, well, I haven't seen the first one, so I'm not going to go see this. And all of a sudden, here we are 9 years after the second film. And I'm like, okay, now I'm doing this regularly. I'm putting out content every day. I've got to keep tabs on everything that's coming out that's big. And it's like, all right, let's do a double feature. And I watched them on Peacock, and your comments were priceless, Connor. Oh, they were priceless. Like, I had a good laugh. I was like, and for a second, I was like, is this dude being serious? Is he like done with me?
I will never be mad, like truly mad at someone.
I know.
For like having a difference of opinion of me.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I'm like blatantly saying idiotic things. I'll be like, all right, well, you're just pissing me off now, and I will scroll away, but like I'm not going to hold it against you.
No, absolutely. And I love the jokes. I love that you used to do things for me. Like, they were so funny, man. I loved it. And I would still love to debate you on the first two films in a friendly way on TikTok Live sometime. So I watched these first two, and my thing with the first one is, I mean, I'm going to be real. It's cheesy, but it's supposed to be. I mean, it's a heist movie involving magicians, like magical Robin Hoods. That's what they are, and but the first one, it's what I would describe as an airplane movie. It's the type of movie that if I'm on a flight and I have an iPad or there's a TV on, on the back of the seat in front of me, I want to watch something, but I don't want to watch something I've seen before. I was like, I want to watch something new. It's the type of movie I would put on. It's kind of like a Liam Neeson action movie to me. I'm not going to get anything profound out of it. It's not going to change my life. I'm not going to feel bad because I didn't see it on a bigger screen, but I am going to be amused and entertained by what it is. And that's what the first one did for me. The second, just no, I couldn't. I tried. I just thought it got really silly, but there is one sequence in the second film that I actually really enjoyed. And it's when they're breaking into the vault and you actually see the heist play out using the tricks with the flying card, just the way they were constantly hiding it and fooling the security guards.
That's like the scene from the second one.
Absolutely, to me, it reminds me of Furious 7, which I don't like those movies, but if there's one scene in Furious 7 that I love that is ridiculous, is the whole tower. Like when they're heisting the car out of the tower and they're flying from building to building. It's ridiculous, it's outlandish, but it's fun to watch. And that is genuinely how I feel about that scene in the second movie. It's outlandish, but it sure is entertaining. I thought the whole reveal at the end of the second one just got ridiculous. But this third one, I had a good time with. It was decent.
I was going to say, the second one is one of those movies I watch where I'm like, I do kind of feel like this is a bad movie, but like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, hey, I've got those, man. Big Mama's House is my jam and always will be, and I don't care what anyone says. I love me some Big Mama's House, and I will debate my enjoyment of that movie and my actual appreciation of it as a good comedy until the day they cremate me.
Hey, I had to fight for my life on this podcast to defend Brother Bear. So,
oh, dude, Brother Bear is charming.
Dude, my dog's named after Kenai.
I like it. How sweet.
Yeah, so let's go over the plot of this new movie.
Okay.
All right, Connor, did you know, you said you love seeing Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg together. Did you know that this was actually done by the director of Zombieland and Zombieland 2? Double tap.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, so it makes sense that he's doing this project because he already has a relationship with Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. And I know that Jesse Eisenberg is in love with these movies. I know he loves doing them. It's crazy how his character has changed from 2013 to 2025. And he's like, yeah, I'm an F-boy in the first one. And he kind of just acts like a 40-year-old man in this one. But yeah, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Ruben Flesher, I believe is how you pronounce the director's name. But it says, unlock the illusion. The original four horsemen reunite with a new generation of illusionists to take on powerful diamond heiress Veronica Vanderberg, who leads a criminal empire built on money laundering and trafficking. The new and old magicians must overcome their differences to work together on their most ambitious heist yet. I guess I'm the one who's talked least about any of these movies so far, so I'll just go right into my review. But I also talk about my previous thoughts on the other ones. Basically, it's tough for me to love these movies for the magic because a lot of it is CGI. And a lot of it doesn't feel real based on the way it's filmed. Even in this movie, I posted a video yesterday with the director Ruben talking about the fact that he had literally seen, and I watched the video, he had seen a video, he referenced the video on YouTube that says, it's literally called, I believe, Now You See Me, are they magicians or are they wizards? And he would like zoom in on every single shot and be like, this doesn't make sense, which is the YouTube video. And it has over 8 million views. It's the most popular video that YouTuber had posted. And Flesher literally referenced that in an article with Time Magazine. And it's like, well, we didn't want to make that mistake in this third one. So these are the most practical like tricks we can do. And I'm still seeing complaints that people think it's CGI. First of all, in your first sequence, you have literally projections of people going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That doesn't look like real magic to me. But I think his main thing is the sequence where they're like somebody called it like a rap battle, like they're trying to like one up each other with magic in a certain sequence. But anyways, so that's a big problem that I have personally with this franchise is I never see a magic trick that they do and I'm like, whoa, because it's in a movie and I know that they can alter it in some way even if they didn't. Like in this movie, in the third one, I see Fisher, she like changes out of a dress into a new dress. But I'm like, was that actually something they just did in camera, or was there some movie magic that's going on rather than actual real magic, you know? But then ever since I watched the first movie back in 2013, which I had a little baby brain then, I was like 16, 17. I was still an infant when it came to my love of cinema. As soon as I watched this first movie, I said, okay, this is just Ocean's 11. That's all these movies are. It's just slapping magicians on an Ocean's 11 movie. And I would always think about the fact, like, why do I like the Ocean's movies better than these movies if they're kind of the same thing? And that became blatantly obvious in this third movie. It's because these characters, they just blend into one another. They do not feel like characters. Dan, we talked about it with Dan before. We had a short little meeting, Adam, before you jumped on. But the person who feels like a character, it's so tough because you have 7 people who are literally just following each other throughout this entire movie, almost, it feels like. So you need them to stand out from one another. And the only person that stands out in this movie is the one person who's not in the group, and that's Rosamund Pike. She actually acts like a character. She's putting on like this fake accent, and she's acting ridiculous. And these are ridiculous movies. You need to act goofy, like you're a diamond money laundering villain. And I think she does a great job. But then you have everyone else. And I think it's interesting, even in Ocean's 11, everyone has a specific job that they do, right? They hire them, and that's what their designated job is. But still, the people who do that their personalities are so huge. And here, I feel like they try to have people with distinct jobs, but because it's all magic, besides Woody Harrelson's being like, all the other magicians kind of blend into one another. So the fact that you can't necessarily distinguish them based on their tricks also, I think, hurts their characters even more from standing out. But go ahead.
There's a movie, I'm blanking on what it was recently, that kind of did that, where they like introduced a new younger cast that's basically going to take the franchise forward. And that's kind of what this one felt like to me, is like they literally pointed out that the new group has someone who's good at picking locks, and that's, Jack Wilder's specialty is picking locks. And then obviously, what's his name? The like Bosco. He's like kind of the face of the act. He's the charismatic one. He's the new Atlas. That's what it felt like. Is they're going to try and do that, but then also with the like teaser in the end credits scene, it doesn't feel like they're just going to pass the torch to this new young cast. So I'm with you in all of what you said, Stone.
I do agree very much that it does feel like, at least even up to this point, that these characters feel like they're just working off each other. I think what makes these characters distinct from each other is their specialty. Where you have, Isla Fisher is the escape artist. Woody Harrelson is the hypnotizing con man. Jesse Eisenberg is like probably your most typical magician, like very, very arrogant, very, just does basic, does every trick of the trade. And then you have Dave Franco, who's like the lock guy, like he picks locks. And in a lot of ways, these new characters that come in, Dominic Sessa, who I actually thought was good in this. I liked him. And then you have, God, what's her name? Ariana Greenblatt and Justice Smith. They're kind of an extension of these guys, this original cast, and that they kind of have similar personalities. Sessa's the Eisenberg, Greenblatt's the Fisher and Kaplan, kind of a hybrid of the two. And then Smith, I would say, is kind of, maybe even kind of in a league of his own, because a big thing with him is that he's the background guy. He's the guy behind the scenes, the genius pulling the strings.
He's close to like Mark Ruffalo.
Thank you. Yes, he's the Ruffalo. And I really do like how him being like the behind the scenes guy comes back later and kind of fits into the finale of this movie that I don't want to spoil for anyone listening that hasn't seen it. I liked what they did with his character. It actually, like, I feel this is the one installment. I know the second one went into Ruffalo's backstory. Like, that was the whole setup for the movie with the opening scene. But I like what they did with his character in that just, it brought the story together full circle. And that's what I really liked about it. At least the angle with his character. But yeah, they are working, and I think the one-up scene is such a definition of the way they work off each other. Like the whole, I don't know what I call it, pissing contest of magic tricks scene. To me, that was the cheesiest moment in the movie, because they're in this dire situation in the house. They're trying to stay under the radar. They're running from the authorities, and it's like, oh, let's just take a break to throw in this sequence where we're pulling a Hobbs and Shaw on each other. And I'm like, oh, man. Like, that was the one scene I thought was just really cringy.
I'm gonna kind of disagree with you there.
Okay.
And that actually kind of feels authentic because
Gotcha.
not in the same, category, but it almost feels like magicians can be compared to like a gym bro
Okay.
because of the ego that they have.
Yeah.
Like every magician in this, besides Charlie Vanderberg, they all have like a pretty big ego they need to live up to. And that's what like this is the first time where it feels like they have a bit of a break. I know you said the authorities are after them and trying to lay low, but like they've pretty much been running since they met.
Mm.
And now they have like a bit of a breath to take, and now they need to prove who is the best in the room just for their own selfish reasons.
That makes sense. I think that makes sense. I don't know. I kind of sat there in that moment. I was like, I don't know why they're doing this, but I mean, I would even say like also like this installment feels most like an action movie. It's definitely, I think it goes the most global, if I'm not mistaken.
I hate that about this movie. I hate
Right.
why. Somebody please tell me. I'm speaking to the Now You See Me fandom. Why are all these guys good at martial arts and beating up police officers? It makes no sense. You're magicians. What are we doing? Why? You know why? It's because this movie is written. It's a mess. Like you can't be like have quips, like fun little quips. In my opinion, like you're saying, Adam, is the whole magic rap battle is a fun scene where they're trying to show you some cool magic that I believe they did practically, but it's also like kind of comedic and they're not taking anything seriously. And then spoiler alert, we're 26 minutes in. Spoilers, run away. All you Now You See Me heads. Morgan Freeman dies. And I'm like, I don't care. You guys
didn't give a
5
shit.
seconds ago. Like, well, I don't really care. If you guys aren't taking the situation that seriously because you're just effing off, like why would I care at all? So it's just a big old mess. And I think they should have done, everyone should be like Rosamund Pike. That character fits the tone of this movie, but none of these characters fit the tone, in my opinion. Besides what they're doing, like it has to be them all the time. You can't just give them one of them, like take turns making jokes, right? And it's like, oh, the characters are matching the tone. Look, they're being fun. No, make their characters fun the entire time by the way they carry themselves, by all of their dialogue, by the situations you put them in, not just a singular joke.
Yeah, well, and then you were talking about, we're into spoiler territory now. So going back on what I just said, trying to defend this scene, it kind of pissed me off with the end reveal that Charlie, he set up the entire house so he could kind of lead them down this rabbit hole. I get that he doesn't want to reveal that to everyone right away, but if he was smart and realized that the cops were coming, he could have revealed it sooner and still played it off, and then Morgan Freeman doesn't die.
That makes sense. I think very typical Hollywood logic plot holes.
Simpsons.
Yes, that's definitely something to refer to there. When I look at this too, I mean, I will say that at times, especially with Rosamund Pike's villainous character, at times I kind of feel, and it even crossed my mind, was this a rejected script for a Fast and Furious installment? Because if you were to take this script and the magic wasn't there, and instead it was car chases and car heists and racing scenes, this could have easily been the script for a Fast and Furious movie that the studio was like, okay, let's just start over and put this on the shelf.
And that's not what it should be. That's not what it should be. You've lost the plot. You've lost the plot of Now You See Me is. Why is there so much fighting in this movie? Just go back to Jesse Eisenberg just thinking he can get whatever woman he can. At least that's ridiculous, right? Because it's Jesse Eisenberg, right? It's freaking Mark Zuckerberg. So that's just silly. This movie isn't silly. It's action. Why is a Now You See Me movie action?
I have a very logical answer to that. And why it is that now they can just, fight off security guards and throw punches. They've had 9 years to get their asses in a gym and train. And I'm sure some of them during the pandemic were like, what am I going to do with my time? Oh, cool. Here's this cool weight training class on YouTube. let me get on Amazon and order some weights. Maybe they trained. Maybe Jesse Eisenberg's character took some jujitsu, and Dave Franco maybe delved into a little taekwondo. He seems like a fast learner. I mean, that cruise ship has to have a gym.
Dave Franco has proven, though, in the first one that he does know how to fight. But he's also the only one that we have established knows how to fight.
He's sleight of hand, so he's quick.
Yeah.
That's like the excuse for it. But Adam, I agree. Just put that in the script, though.
Absolutely.
Right? If we know, you know why it's not in the script? Because this movie, come in close, this movie has 4 writers.
Yeah, that's a bad sign. And you know what? I have another plausible theory. What if, and it should have been revealed, what if Woody hypnotized every security guard and every dude who could fight they came across and hypnotized them into not being able to fight, giving his cohorts the upper hand?
That's so stupid, but that's what I want. I want more stupidity in this movie. Like literally in the first movie, Woody Harrelson takes off his biker helmet and some guy's coming at him in a truck and he goes, and the guy in the truck goes, like what did you just do to him? The dude's driving a truck, and Woody Harrelson jumps out in front of the truck and goes, and the guy goes, he has mind powers and can just put anybody to sleep. Sure, do that.
I did have a good laugh in this one when they got on top of the museum and he tried to hypnotize the 3 guards. He's like, you know how hard it is to hypnotize someone in Belgium?
And then, isn't it one point he goes, okay, some people aren't susceptible to it. Like it didn't work on the guy.
That was when he was getting broken out of the French prison or French jail. But that is like the cheesiness that I do enjoy was that scene that I was talking about on the rooftop from the first 2 movies is him basically just saying, sometimes it doesn't work.
Okay, and I will also say this about the movie. It is definitely taking notes from the MCU installments where there are big surprises and big reveals because as obviously the movie introduced itself with the new cast of characters. Eisenberg is the first guy to come out, expected. But then as it moves along, you know that these other characters are somehow going to make entrances. I do feel like a lot of these entrances became predictable. And the one I predicted the quickest and the one that was the most predictable was Lizzie Kaplan's return.
Yep.
Once that crazy old lady came into the police station, I was like, Lula is her name, right?
Yeah.
That's Lula.
Well, they even said earlier in the movie that she was in France already, and then he just happened to go to a French jail. And that's the difference for me in this one versus the second one. In the second one of the small details that I really like is when they go into the magic store in China. They it's very quick, but they show, I think it's Dave Franco's character looking at the little magic item that makes water fall upward. And then that's used later for the final culminating event when Jesse Eisenberg is, stopping the rain. It's like they tried to do it again in this one to be like, oh, Lula's in France now. And then you're supposed to just forget about that by the time he's in a French jail. And then all of a sudden this drunk woman's walking in, blatantly throwing something in the garbage, spilling stuff. So I'm happy you brought that up because I was going to.
Yeah, I mean, those.
Funny that you brought up MCU because the guy who wrote all the Deadpool movies is one of the writers on this movie as well. I mean, he's wrote both Zombieland films, so it makes sense that Ruben brought him back. But it's not a coincidence, I think, why this kind of feels like an MCU movie, especially with all the characters.
I'm happy you brought that up because I had no idea about that, Stone. And going back to what Adam and I were just talking about, it's literally I took a note in my phone and said, when they're introducing all the magicians return, it felt like Deadpool and Wolverine, where they kind of slowed down the movie just a bit so the audience could applause.
Same writer.
Yeah, no, that's crazy that you just said that.
It kind of makes me I went to the 2 p.m. Dolby on Thursday because I had what did I have later that evening? I had Keeper later that evening. I did 2 movies, and it kind of almost makes me wish because the 5:15 showtime, I would have never made it to Keeper on time, but the next 2 showtimes were packed. I looked at the seating chart, and it kind of makes me wish I would have flipped around the order in which I saw the movies because I kind of wanted to see that movie with more of a packed theater because clearly a crowd like that, they have to have been going because they love these movies.
Nope.
And I wanted to see the audience reaction to people who grew up with these movies and love them. And I wanted to see their reaction to these entrances and returns and, these quote unquote cool tricks and sequences. Like, I kind of almost want to just go back and watch, but I think it's too late now. I think all the crowds went this weekend. I just almost really would have wanted to see this movie in a crowded theater full of people who were going to this because they love these movies.
So, Adam, you and I talk off the podcast, off social media. So, I have a family. I don't always make it to the theater for new releases.
Right on.
I made the comment. I saw Predator Badlands in theaters last week, which I wasn't a fan of. And now this in theaters this week. And I haven't seen many 2025 movies, but these were the two fullest theaters I've been to all year.
Right on.
And I'm pretty sure there was maybe like 3 open seats last night when I saw Now You See Me. And I saw it at 10:30. And there wasn't any like cheering. There wasn't clapping. No one raised their like hands in excitement. So
interesting. Thank you for confirming that, because that was something that was kind of circling my mind in a curious manner. Because even at my theater, like I like to look at seating charts of like other showtimes and see what it looks like during the weekend to get an idea of, because my local AMC here, like in where I live, it's a crowded AMC. Like people go there. It draws in a lot of people. And like I looked and I was like, holy cow, like these next 2 showtimes on Thursday and Friday night, like all the evening showtimes are packed. So I do wonder, how did it turn out in the box office? Did it beat out The Running Man?
Yeah, pretty. Not, I wouldn't say substantially, but it's not close. Now You See Me had about $21.7, I think, $million this weekend, and then The Running Man had about like 17.
Okay. Wow, people love these movies, and more power to them.
I was guessing this was, if I could look at the entire 2025 slate, clean, I haven't seen anything yet. This would have been my number 2 most anticipated movie, maybe number 1. In my top 3 would be Warfare, this, and Zootopia 2.
Right on. So interestingly enough, our most anticipated movies of the year came out on the same weekend, respectively. Like,
yeah,
yours was this, and mine was The Running Man, because I love that book. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember you requesting to be on the episode that we were going to do Running Man, and then we were like, what about Magic?
All good. Hey, I'll never say no to Magic, man.
Did you end up watching Keeper?
I did. Yeah, I went. So I did Now You See Me 2 Now You See Me, Now You Don't at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock on Thursday. Came home, took a break, made dinner, got some work done. Then I went to the 7:30 Keeper. Or no, it's 7 p.m. I have a very love-hate relationship. Not even that. I have a very conflicted relationship with Oscar Perkins, because I think there are great ideas being presented in his movies, but I don't think they always feel fully realized. I think he depends a lot right now on Neon's marketing team, which I think are helping his movies, or at least get viewership, because even my screening of Keeper was packed, and it was in a much smaller theater. Like, I think we were sold out. So, I mean, I think that's what's getting people into his theaters out of curiosity, is the marketing. But I just think that at least between Longlegs and Keeper, I think the marketing has overblown the movie. What I liked about The Monkey and why I enjoyed it is because the marketing was straightforward. And when I watched the film, I was like, this is a straightforward B movie from the video store era. And I like this. It wasn't trying to be anything above what it was aware of.
Oh, my tattoo artist did nothing but talk shit about The Monkey.
Right on. Yeah, there were people that did not like it.
Yeah, I was just checking. I didn't very much enjoy Keeper, so that's why I was checking.
I was gonna say, I sat down for an 8-hour tattoo session. I think he talked poorly about The Monkey for 2 hours of that.
Oh man,
so, Oscar Perkins is very good at building very horrifying atmospheres. It's just, for me, his scripts are just never good.
I agree.
Unfortunately, he didn't even write this new movie, but the script is just, you get a big reveal, Connor, at the very end, and me and Fabian had a 45-minute conversation about it over the phone, and we're just like, what? With Keeper, it's kind of like, okay, I guess that's the big reveal. That's basically how it goes. You're just like, very
I
weird.
think I'm going to start diving a little bit more into horror here soon because I was going to do it for October. I was going to try and watch a horror movie a day, and I even reached out to like Marcel, friend of the pod, good dude, and then ended up having some like family issues come up that I didn't get to watch a whole lot. So I'm going to be like tackling that, and then I've never seen a James Bond movie in my life,
Really?
really. So I'm going to be
Oh.
balancing horror movies and then watching every James Bond movie over the next couple weeks. Is my goal.
Connor, I want to take this James Bond journey with you.
Mhm.
I love 007, dude. Let me know when you want to start going through these movies, and I'll simultaneously watch them with you and talk to you about them.
We can
I'm
plan.
excited for you. Like, my reaction is not, what? You've never seen a James Bond movie? Like, I'm excited for you because I would love to go back to that point in my life where I discovered James Bond for the first time.
Yeah. It is funny enough as it is. It's kind of the watch video I did on it about the watches worn.
Nice.
Because I knew for a long time that Omega is like the rights to James Bond ever since Pierce Brosnan. And that's why I think Aaron Taylor Johnson will be the next James Bond because he just signed on as a brand ambassador with Omega this year. And Amazon.
There's a video about that.
Yeah. And so it kind of got me interested. And well, I've always been interested. I'm like really bad at franchises that haven't come out during my lifetime. So like I never saw a Mission Impossible movie up until the new one came out and we did an episode with Brock. I've never seen a Bourne movie. I've never seen a Star Trek movie. Yeah, there's a bunch of franchises I need to tackle.
Dude, take yourself through the journey. 007 is a very fun franchise. Not everything is great. Some of it definitely doesn't hold up today. Some of it is a little problematic today. But they are very entertaining movies, and it's just fun to watch the different eras, seeing how they kind of adapted to the industry at each time. I would love to be in a position to discover 007 for the first time, and I think you'll get a kick out of the watches, the cars, the gadgets. I think you'll get a kick out of that stuff.
There's not a right or wrong answer to this in my eyes because we can all understand what is wrong in that regard. But you just made a comment that like there's some stuff said or hinting at something that shouldn't, be spoken in movies or acted in movies, whatever it is, from, those movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s, white people saying the N-word, stuff like that. Whatever it might be. Do you guys critique a movie harder from that era if it does that? Or because of the time that it came out and like society didn't totally understand, not okay? Can you kind of not let it pass, but like it won't hurt your critique of a movie?
It's tough. I mean, I guess if it pertains a lot to this, if it's just some passing thing and it doesn't necessarily focus in, like that's not what the focus of the story is about, then it doesn't bother me as much. But if it's like the whole idea and the messaging behind the movie is of the times, then it's not worthy of my time.
Yeah. I think that was the perfect answer, honestly.
I think you nailed it, Stone. There's a lot of stuff that came out in the 60s, 70s, 80s. There's jokes or language used or just situations that play out that won't hold up today. A lot of comedies fall into that category, but they're not what defines the movie. They're just little moments that just happen to be there. If I'm talking about a movie from that time that has something problematic that is noticeable and has been discussed, I just talked about De Palma's Dress to Kill the other day. That is a movie that was really a source of controversy because of the reveal of the killer. But I always say, like, with something like that, with a complex theme like that, there's a lot to read between the lines. When it comes to, like, comedies from the 60s, 70s, 80s that are doing things you can't get away with today, I just say, look, it was a different time. They could get away with that, but it doesn't define the movie. And I do want to talk about the movie. But then you have something like D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation, which when I was in college in my film history class, that was the first film they made us watch because it was a lesson in acknowledging that is the movie that invented the concept of the narrative feature film, like films actually having a plot and playing out as full-length narratives. But when you look at what that movie is about and what the whole story revolves around, you cannot champion that movie for its story. You cannot you cannot look at that movie for its story and themes and say it's a good movie, but you can still acknowledge that when it comes to the technical aspects of it, it definitely pioneered the way we watch movies today in terms of a narrative feature film with a full plot. But yeah, Stone, you did say it best, man.
I try my best. I wish Now You See Me, Now You Don't did as well, but I think that they should have just let this franchise die, in my opinion. I know you liked it, Adam. It just doesn't feel like the other two movies, so maybe that's why you like it.
That's
I'm not
probably why I got something different, and I think that's what I was hoping for. You know, it's still flawed. I mean, it's not a movie that I'm going to go back and see in a theater next week. It's not a movie that, you know, in 6 months I'm going to turn on and be like, this is awesome. It's just, if they make a fourth one down the line, I'll go back through these three again just to catch up and refresh myself for critical purposes. But I have no shame in saying that out of the three, this is the one I've liked the most.
This will like kind of be my final comment on it. This entire franchise is obviously built up. Every person we see on screen who is a magician, like they've devoted their life to this. This is what they study in their free time. Like they're all passionate about this. The part in this movie when he got into that F1 car and was just driving it flawlessly throughout like the streets. Where were they? Belgium?
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Thank you. Not Belgium. But he's like driving it through like, you know, not a racetrack. He was driving through like a town and like perfectly. He's never been in an F1 car. I was like, all right, this is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I wish they would just suck. Why are they all just so good? I get
everything.
That they're supposed to be the eye wants them, which I've never. The eye thing is so stupid in these movies. Like there's some secret organization. Like just have magicians do heists. They don't need to be serving some great lord magician called the Eye and some.
Well, no, that's like an actual thing in like magic lore.
The Eye.
Uh-huh.
What?
I have a buddy of mine who was like super into magic back in high school. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he like raved about this movie because they referenced the Eye, and he's like, "Yeah, I've looked into it before," and like blah blah. He could have been lying. It was high school, you know, puberty. But
Connor,
I don't know, because I'm looking it up. Oh wait, the Eye is ancient, with a legend suggesting it originated in Egypt. Wait. The organization recruits talented illusionists, mentalists, and escapists to perform a Robin Hood-style mission. Okay. Carry on, Adam. I'm going to do some reading.
Okay, I have a curious question, Connor, because I think you've established that magic is a big thing with you. Have you ever been to Los Angeles?
No, the farthest west I've ever been is Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hey, right on, man. Just north of me. Have you ever heard of the Magic Castle?
Vaguely, but I couldn't tell you anything about it or what it is.
It is an establishment in Hollywood that is a kind of like a gathering place for magicians. It's a very magic themed establishment. It's a mansion. They're kind of very secretive. You have to get invited to go there. But I wonder if the Eye has anything to do with the Magic Castle or if they're in any way involved with it. Because when I was living in LA for a number of years, I would always hear about the Magic Castle. There are always rumors about what it was, what goes on in there. You're not even, there's like specific sections of this establishment that you're not allowed to take pictures of. I actually had a friend who ended up getting invited because I think his girlfriend was involved in some kind of magic stuff. And he just said it was like a normal place. He couldn't really give me details, but he said it was a pretty just normal establishment with a magic theme. I was just wondering if you had ever heard of this place.
I have not.
Okay.
The Eye was created for the movies.
Okay.
Your friend was messing with you. That's bad, friend.
I wouldn't totally be surprised by that.
No, that is mean.
I mean, whatever. But I have a couple questions for you guys before we totally wrap.
Oh.
So did you rewatch 1 and 2 before this release?
Me, personally?
Yeah. You're the only Stone on the podcast with us today.
That is true. That is true. I have two weird answers for this. One is that I watched somebody recap the first one, so they showed about 10 minutes of it, and they were laughing at a lot of it. And then last night, I fell asleep on the couch. My wife watched it. She probably stopped it an hour and a half into it. And before my eyes, this eye, I was trying to make a joke about the eye. Before they shut, I probably got 30 minutes.
Okay.
I got Jesse Eisenberg being like, "Yeah, I'm a magician girl. Come here. Oh, look at that card right there. Get off me. I'll call you. You don't have my number. I'm a magician. I'll figure it out. Sorry.
All right. Well, this might be a little harder for you to answer, but of the trilogy, do you guys have a favorite magic trick?
Hmm.
Good question.
Honestly, there are two I'm going to reference for very different reasons. One is in the first film, literally in the beginning of the film, with the piranhas.
Do you know about that behind the scenes?
That shit is just sinister.
Yeah.
That humored me. Like, that shit is sinister. Like, watching that crowd panic and, like, they're trying to, like, don't break the glass. They're just going to come out into the crowd, man. It doesn't really look like she's going to be okay. I would say...
See, that's the fake stuff. That's, like, obviously can't be done. And you're just like, I know she almost drowned. I know that was the big thing.
I was going to
like,
ask Adam if he knew about that.
That's like the number one fun fact of this franchise is that Isla Fisher almost drowned literally doing that trick.
I'd heard about that. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is what she does is not possible because you literally see the actress, you see the piranhas, the CGI piranhas, even if they're fake fish, even if they're a dead fish, I don't give a crap. But what they show on camera and then they show in the crowd, it's just not a trick that's possible. So you're showing but the way they film it is not possible. Like you cut and you see Isla Fisher's face and she goes, ah, and then you cut to her in the crowd. That's not possible. So you're starting out this entire franchise with a trick that can't be done. And that frustrates me. Like, show me something more practical that I can, like, show me, the whole card trick, like opening the whole thing with like him doing the card trick. And I'm like, oh, the 7 of diamonds and it's on the building. That blows your mind. Obviously, I think they did something with the computer to like movie magic to make you focus in on the 7 of diamonds, maybe just a little bit. I think they showed it twice, if I'm not mistaken, which that could be how the trick works out. I don't know, but that blows your mind, right? I'm in this franchise. I'm like, wow, that's the first thing you show me. Good for this franchise. I can't wait. 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, I'm showing a girl who's getting piranhas dumped on her, and then she's in the crowd. I'm like, okay, well, that's
Woody Harrelson's opening trick was pretty good.
Yeah, the whole thing with the cheating husband.
That's real. Yeah. They all train with musicians. All of them train with magicians for this.
Yeah,
as much as they can, which I respect that. But it's you have to make the camera work with the trick. You can't just say I promise it's real, right? I promise what we're doing. We train. Okay, but find a way to show that to me on the camera. If you can't do that, right, then I'm not there in the crowd. I don't see Isla Fisher getting a piranhas dumped on her, and then my eyes turn and I see her in the crowd. No, there's a cut. So show me that without a cut. I don't know. Anyways, carry on, Adam. Sorry, I'm just so frustrated because they emphasize the fact so much that they really do work with real magicians, and it's like that's completely wasted if that doesn't come across on the screen. To me, like, why would you even bother with that if 50% of the tricks that you do is just projections? Like this franchise goes nuts with projections. Like they're projecting themselves on so many places in every single movie. Like, cool it with your dumbass projections. I don't know if that magicians use that a whole lot, but I'm like, good lord. Sorry.
I like Woody Harrelson's opening trick with the hypnosis and the cheating husband. That was a clever scene because I mean the punchline at the end of that is, hey, I mean, she'll never know what you did, but it's going to cost you. You know, it just. I love that Woody Harrelson is so good at playing a hustler. It's why I liked his character so much. And then, funny enough, in the second film, I just feel they ruined it by giving him a twin brother. Like, because like on paper, 2 Woodies sounds great, but in this movie, 2 Woodies is like children bickering. It's horrible.
But it feels authentic to brothers.
Yes, it does. It just. They could have written it better.
That might have just answered. Wait, Stone, did you answer your favorite magic trick?
I like the opening trick, and I do like even though part of it's CGI, I like them. Part of it's not though, and they do it in camera. The card trick in the vault in the second movie. I think that's good. Even though I haven't actually seen the second movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I have seen that trick. And I think that's good. Some of it is in camera. Like that is Dave Franco. Dave Franco worked with I mean, that's his thing. He's supposed to be like a sleight of hand guy. He did work with magicians to work out those card tricks and to flip cards like that. He did a good job. Well, then you have like the whole like, let me put it in my arm and go, and then like very much big CGI card. But I know one thing that he did work on a lot was like throwing cards. He got very good at throwing cards.
I'm actually pretty good at that too. But knowing you, Stone, I feel like you'll hate the second one.
Get a piece of celery. Do you have celery in a card?
I've done that before.
You don't have one on you right now?
No.
Darn.
I'm trying to put on weight, not lose weight. Celery is not my go-to snack. And then my other question was, and I think Adam already answered his, do you have a favorite magician?
Magician. What's the definition of magician?
One of the 7 horsemen.
I thought you meant like real life.
Oh, sorry. And I guess 8 if you're considering Mark Ruffalo's character.
That's tough. Do I have a favorite one? No, not really. Sure, I guess Woody Harrelson. I would say Woody Harrelson just because out of the original 4 Horsemen, I feel like he's the only one giving anything in this third movie. That's because he's always been kind of like the comedic one more than any of the other guys. So I think all 4 of the original Horsemen have lost the sauce in this franchise besides him in this last movie. Goodness gracious. I can't remember a single thing that Dave Franco did in this film or Jesse Eisenberg. I didn't get the whole like conflict between him and Dominic Assessa. Like I feel like that was getting pushed on me. Like I was supposed to, they're telling me there's a competition there between the two of them, but then I just didn't really feel it. I think in their mind, they pictured Jesse Eisenberg as the Jesse Eisenberg from the very first movie, right? Very cocky, very full of himself. And he was actually very good at doing that. I mean, that's literally 2013 was 3 years after The Social Network. Jesse Eisenberg in The First Night You See Me is very similar to Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network. The way they talk, the way they carry themselves, very similar characters. But then you get this movie, and I think they're thinking of, J. Daniel Atlas from 2013, but the vibes and the aura that is coming off Jesse Eisenberg in this movie, I've already said it, is like a 40-year-old dad trying to keep track of some kids. I'm like, you don't look like a cocky dude who's just like so good at magic and thinks he's so full of himself. You used to be that, but the writing for him in this third movie is thinking about that character rather than the one that's being put on our screen right now.
It kind of felt like a mix of like J. Daniel Atlas from the first one and his character from A Real Pain. Like they matched.
Sure, yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because part of what I like, so I'm not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg. I think he's smug. These are the characters he plays. And so I'm not sure if you've ever seen this, but when the first film came out, there's an interview clip with him, and the interviewer is just, trying to make conversation, does a trick, and he's so rude to her. Like, he is so rude to her, and nothing she did merits that kind of behavior out of him. Ever since when I watched Jesse Eisenberg, I'm like, God, this dude is smug. He seems like he's just playing himself. What I did notice about this specific film is that at a certain point, there's more of a level of humility from J. Daniel Atlas. That he's kind of just grown. He's just like, I know that my whole thing is being the arrogant, smug guy, but let me take that down a notch. Let me humble down. And I feel like him dealing with these kids and how being like a 40-year-old who's taking care of a bunch of kids is like, especially with Dominic Sessa, it's like, look, buddy, I've been you. You're going to get exhausted after a while.
See, I get that that's cool from his character's perspective, or like that's a cool character arc for him, but the vibes that he's giving off, the way he carries himself throughout the entire movie seems like he's already come to that conclusion, even though he is outwardly saying like, I am better than you at the very beginning. Like, I am told there's been a change in his personality towards the end of the movie, and that does make sense for his character, but I don't see a change. I see a change in his personality at the very beginning. Like I said, the very beginning, Jesse Eisenberg does not feel like the same Jesse Eisenberg to me.
I think you see a change on the stage at the end.
There's a lot of people on the stage at the end.
No, but but he's like willing to pass the torch on, and he even admits like he doesn't know how this trick fully played out. He passes the torch, kind of.
Yeah, that's a
I
cool
think-
character arc for him, but I wish anybody else had a character arc.
I was gonna say, my favorite magician in these movies though floats between Jack Wilder or Merritt McKinney. It could be a flip of the coin one day or another.
I like Jack Wilder.
You know what? I like Jack Wilder too. I'm gonna take my pick of my favorite magician is actually, let me get his actual name here. It is, if I can find it. Goodness gracious! Oh, here we go. I'm sure their names in these movies are ridiculous. By the way,
Oh yeah,
J.
Also-
Daniel Atlas.
Would your mom have sex with a map?
Yeah, Merritt McKinney. Jack Wilder is such a all right, Charlie Bosco. What kind of name is Bosco? I'm sorry, Bosco Leroy.
One of my boys from the Marine Corps, his name was Bosco.
Thaddeus Bradley, Lula May. I don't know. The June McClure. Sorry.
Well,
Justice Smith. You know why Justice Smith is my favorite magician? Is because I actually liked him. And I think Justice Smith is actually very talented, and he just needs to write as an actor. I think he needs to write script. He does some very interesting projects, but it's because he's essentially just doing what he did kind of in Dungeons and Dragons. He plays a sorcerer in Dungeons and Dragons. So I kind of like it because I love that movie. I literally just rewatched it 2 days ago because RIP to what that franchise could have been, because now the directors have moved on from it. But yeah, that's why it just reminded me of that film. That film's so good. So
that movie was so underappreciated. I had a lot of fun with
so
it.
good.
And I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons.
You don't need to know anything. The writing is so smart. The humor is so smart in those movies.
Yeah, I think
like
those are
this
my
movie.
only questions. The only other thing I had in the new one, I think my favorite returning horseman was probably Lula, because hers felt the most authentic, where she knew nothing was going on, was pretty upset that no one looped her in or invited her.
That's crazy that they added one more magician. That's wild. They're like, you want 7's too many? How about 8? I'm like, dang, chill. 8 main characters? What are we doing?
It's like the Eternals.
That's what I'm saying. Just like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get another one of these films. Adam, would you be down for another one? Let's prediction. We need prediction from you before we close.
I mean, it sounds like
Okay.
this did well. 21 million opening weekend. Also, how bad is it going to drop next weekend? Because we got Wicked for Good coming out.
And Sisu. I'm excited for everyone to see Sisu.
So, everyone's going to get what they want next weekend. Look, I don't know if we'll get a fourth film. I think it all just depends on they want to put money toward another one, depending on the overall gross of this. If we do get a fourth one, yeah, I'll watch it. I wouldn't say I'm down for it, but I'll watch it. I'll be curious to see what they do. I can imagine Mark Ruffalo having a bigger presence in a fourth film than he did in this one. And I'm not ruling this out because I thought this was going to happen at the end of this film. Thaddeus Bradley, Morgan Freeman, if there's a fourth film, will come back.
I could see it.
I think his death will end up having been an illusion.
Morgan Freeman is almost 90 years old. I don't know, but
They
when I'm
better
90,
make this movie quick then.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but if they want him to be in another movie, they better hurry up.
Exactly. They
Also,
better hurry up.
Can we stop putting Andrew Santino in movies?
Oh yeah, I don't like him at the beginning. Oh, yeah.
I don't like him in anything I've seen him in. Like Ricky Stenicki, Happy Gilmore 2, Anytime.
Dude knows how to pick them, like we do on this podcast. Sunset Loner Cinema. Connor, come on, let's give it to him.
I'm humble.
Thank you, sir.
guys.
Thank you
On
for
such
being here
short
with us.
notice, too.
Y'all are
Yeah.
sweet. I'm sorry. I'm having a good laugh because the movie Ricky Stenicki has just come back into my mind. No, I'm humbled, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I want you to be stuck in everybody's mind. So can you please tell them where they can find you on your social medias, please?
Absolutely. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under the username Sunset Loner Cinema. I also have a podcast that I co-host bi-weekly with my friend and fellow content creator, Midnight Film Review. It's called Late Fee Files. We pick 2 movies from the video store era that have a thematic connection, and we just have a fun conversation about them.
Let's go. All right, everyone, please go follow. Sunset Loner Cinema is such a sick name.
Thank you. That's very kind. I'm humbled. Thank you.
Better than medical movie, man. I'll tell you that.
I like your name. It's intriguing. It tells
I
me
also like medical movie, man.
you love movies and you're a surgeon. It's
I think Stone. I think one of the greatest videos you ever did was whenever that girl went pretty popular for saying there's something wrong with you if you like horror movies, and you did the whole like medical breakdown of why like it actually helps people sleep and calm down. I think that's one of your greatest videos ever.
Oh, that was gold.
Well, something I'll never forget is the fact that why horror movies are good for people who are single too is if you watch a horror movie, because you have certain endorphins that kick in after you get scared. After you get scared, you feel good. Well, if you're watching a horror movie with like on a date, right, and you get scared and you feel good, then you'll associate that feeling of feeling good, not necessarily with the movie, but with that person you're with. And they'll also feel the exact same thing. The movie is actually what is making them good because they're getting those certain shots of endorphins after that scare, but you're also with this person. So it helps you in your dating life. I'll never forget that. That's a fun fact. Makes sense. But anyways, next week, we are talking about Wicked 4. Good. I am watching it tomorrow. I can't wait to.
That'll be a year since Adam's first time on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I remember that. Yeah, we talked about Wicked and Gladiator,
and still our second most streamed episode on Spotify.
That I'm humbled to be a part of it. I always love being on here. I love talking to you guys.
I actually can't believe we invited you back on after you told me you didn't like Gladiator, though.
Oh, and he's gone. Wow. I'm just kidding. Well, yes, Wicked next week for good. This is the last time we will cover Wicked. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to check out Sunset Loner Cinema. Please tell us what you guys thought of Now You See Me and Now You Don't, third entry in this franchise. Will we get a fourth one? Let us know down below wherever you're watching this. Until next week, though, please, I beg you, follow our friend here. Go outside, sit on a park bench, touch some grass, call up your friends, watch a good movie, watch a good TV show, cheer for the Lions right now instead of the Eagles. And we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.